Hello, hello. Today is a special day because you're joining me on my birthday. Wednesday, February 10th is my 31st birthday, and it's a weird one given the pandemic. It's crazy because a year ago I filmed a makeup look in Joshua Tree when I was celebrating my 30th, and it's crazy because the next thing that happened after my birthday trip was the pandemic. So there's definitely a heavy feeling that this is the 1 year mark of lockdown almost. So it's quite a surreal feeling that we've been in this kind of like Groundhog's Day situation, and it feels a little bit endless and hopeless. But that's okay. Vaccines are coming, and hopefully by 2022 we'll have life again. But I wanted to film this look on my birthday for a couple different reasons. One, I showed this kind of fun periwinkle lavender look on my Instagram last week, and I got so many DMs about it. People really loved it, and so I figured had to do it for YouTube too. And I got a lot of amazing name suggestions, so please let me know what you would call this. But here are some of my favorites: Cotton Candy Mermaid, Ice Princess, Airy Fairy, Y2K, that's a great one. Got a lot of like Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again vibes, Mandy Moore Candy. But of course, my favorite was Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century. I mean, come on, Zenon. Life is short and serious, but we don't have to take our makeup seriously. I certainly don't. So I kind of added this like fun, light pink, shimmery, frosty lip just because, like, why the fuck not? Let me live my life. Isn't it just so amazing how powerful makeup is? I mean, I could be feeling kind of shitty 1 second, put on this makeup, and the next I feel like I'm ready to go and conquer the world. So if you want to see how I got this look, keep on watching. And thanks for being here and for supporting me throughout another year of my channel. I'm really grateful for each and every one of you. So let's jump in. Okay, so to get started, just gonna clip the old hair back. I hate when you're watching makeup tutorials and people have their hair in front of their faces, or skincare. That's even worse. I don't totally remember what I did the other day, but I'm gonna do my best to recreate it. So I'm going in with my Lancome Tint Idole foundation stick in the shade Ivoire. I'm annoyed because on Sephora I saw that that's a lot of foundation. You don't need that much. I saw on Sephora that they have a different version of this now. So I hope you can still get it. It's such a good foundation. Super blendable. It just looks skin-like. It's matte in finish, but it doesn't really feel all that matte. Like, it doesn't feel drying. You can still see a little luminosity showing through. Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. Don't know the shade because it's super old and I can't see the name. I have some blemishes this week, so just gotta cover those, but you know, we don't have to be too crazy. Foundation and spot concealing done, so I'm gonna go in with e.l.f. Camo Concealer in Light Peach. My neighbor is doing yard work, so if you hear that, you hear that. Gonna go in with my favorite sponge ever, the Wander Beauty cushion? I don't know, but it's $12 and it's absolutely incredible. It just keeps the coverage of every concealer, makes everything look so skin-like. I don't really need anything else for foundation or concealer. So how are you guys doing? What's new? You know, shit's kind of crazy, obviously. And it's so funny. I got a comment on my YouTube video yesterday back on my quarantine makeup tutorial, which was when like quarantine had just started. And it was funny because the person commented, they were like, wow, I found your channel from this video. It's so weird going back and like watching people talk about the pandemic before we even knew what was going on. And that's one of the reasons why my birthday this year is, you know, such a trip. The last thing that I remember in my life last year before the pandemic was my birthday. You know, I remember doing my makeup for my YouTube video, the Joshua Tree makeup tutorial, and that was my 30th birthday. And I, you know, right after that, just a month later, we were on lockdown and shit hit the fan. But I remember on that birthday trip, we had just really started hearing about how devastating the virus was in China. Going in with my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in brunette. But back to what I was saying, February of last year of 2020, we were just starting to hear of the virus and how many people were dying in China and how scary it was. We were just starting to hear those whisperings of like, this is probably going to come to the US. It's just really, it's so mind blowing to me that it's been almost a year since lockdown started. And, just there's so many different ways that I feel about that right now. On one hand, wearing a mask seems pretty normal now. Socially distancing seems normal. I'm not quite as like terrified as I was before. But on the other hand, I feel a little bit hopeless, even though we have the vaccines on the horizon and I'm so excited about that. I still feel like it's going to be at least until 2022 before life starts looking normal again. And I mean, my God, like we've just lost so much time from our lives. Certainly, we've been doing other things, those of us who've been lucky enough to stay employed, but still, so much of life was missed out on. And it's interesting, I have little glimpses of like, every now and then, the trauma of the pandemic really hits me. And I'm definitely feeling it a little bit more now, not having anything to do for my birthday, not being able to, celebrate the way I normally would. It's just framing it a little bit differently for me this year. On one hand, I mean, I'm just feeling very lucky that I'm able to make it to a birthday, given the fact that so many people lost their lives to the pandemic. But also just feeling like time is really passing me by. And 30 was going to be the year when I was finally going to do a bunch of international travel and like be free of being financially so stressed all the time. But enough about sadness. We can try to focus on the positive too. I'm now going to go in with Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur in Mauve Sunrise. This is just a little sample, but I freaking love it. I don't want my blush to be crazy like I normally do because this is going to be focused on a colorful eye. But I do just want to bring it together with a little bit of blush. So normally I would go more than that, but today, don't want it to be too 80s. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's no rules in makeup. Anyways, for my birthday this year, we were, as some of you know, we were supposed to go to Oaxaca, which is in Mexico, and we canceled that trip because we booked it because we were stupid. We shouldn't have booked it. We thought cases were looking so good. This was back when California had indoor dining for like a literal second. And we booked the trip. We just thought, okay, if we get a super remote Airbnb in the middle of nowhere where we won't interact with anyone, we'll be safe. But that was dumb because we obviously had to take a flight to get there. And so we canceled. And unfortunately, Airbnb will not give us our $2,000 deposit back. So I could obviously go to a really nice Airbnb for my birthday or something like that, but we just lost that $2,000. So it's like, all the Airbnbs right now are so expensive because my birthday also, kind of falls into Valentine's Day weekend. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Just taking a touch of powder. Barely, because I have on the matte foundation and I have on a matte sunscreen underneath. Okay, so the first shadow I did the other day was a Bodyography Blue Morpho, and I'll show you. It's incredibly sheer. So it's just like that, like a little bit of something that just catches the light. But I ended up going over it with a Colourpop Super Shock Shadow. But first, I'm just going to lay this down as a base because this is what I did last time, even though it's not the Hero product. So I'm going to do it again. And what I love about the Bodyography shades is that there is zero fallout. And then I'm going to do the other side. And for me, for this makeup, like, I love not taking makeup seriously. I know a lot of people are probably not very much into blue eyeshadow, and that's okay. But, I don't really follow a lot of rules in makeup. I also don't feel like I have a lot of skills. I tend to use my fingers for almost everything. For my birthday this year, I don't want to take myself seriously, so blue eyeshadow it is. So that's just the light layer of Blue Morpho. You can stop there, of course, if you want, but I ain't gonna do that because we got this to work with. This is Colourpop REM. Just check it out. Ooh, buddy. It's a periwinkle blue, and it has lavender glitter. Damn. Damn, that's good. That is good as hell. So I'm going to take it on my finger. Just do a little, ooh, yes. Oh, that's so good. Oh, you guys. Colourpop Super Shock Shadows. $6. Can't beat them. But yeah, once this starts coming together, I want to know, what would you name this look? I heard so many different incredible suggestions. People saying things like, my favorite was Zenon. Cetus Lapidus. Also heard a lot of pop stars, a lot of like Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again. Heard a lot of like Mandy Moore, Candy. I'm missing you like candy, yeah. Missing you like candy. That's a jam. Anyways, also heard a lot of like Ice Queen, Airy Fairy, 60s, Spaceship, Galactic, 80s, Y2K. So many good suggestions. I think Zenon's my favorite just because I love Zenon. I loved that movie so much, but I thought Y2K was also really good. Oh, also really liked Cotton Candy Mermaid. I thought that was a fun one. So I think we're there with the shadow. I'm just gonna blend it a little bit because I used my fingers mostly. I just want to make sure I got everything. Sometimes with these kind of like super sparkly, slight duochrome shadows, if I look straight on into the mirror, it'll look blended, but then if it catches the light, you'll see something that doesn't look blended just because of that kind of duochrome nature. So just always good to like give her an old blend before you go. Then what I did, took my custom Colourpop palette and I took a shimmery shade. This one, I think I did the yellow. This is Now in Zen. Try not to go overboard with my inner corner. Yeah, see how that went from like 0 to 60? Again, too much, too much. I'm gonna curl my lashes off camera because I look crazy. Okay, lashes curled. I'm gonna do liner on the top. Also doing this off camera because I look crazy. Okay, upper waterline done. What's up? Mascara. Honestly, I've been without the Thrive Liquid Lash Extension Mascara for 3 days and I miss it so much. If you go back and watch my videos during the beginning of the pandemic when I first got that mascara, I didn't like it because it was like so wet. It would weigh down my lashes and it wouldn't hold a curl because of that. But it was always so nice to remove. It's a tubing mascara and it just comes off with water. But after like 2 months of using it, it dried down to the perfect consistency and it stayed there. It never got like too dry. Oh my God. And then it was like best mascara you could ever create. So if you try the Thrive mascara and at first you're like, ooh, this is too wet, it's not holding a curl or something like that, just give it a little bit of time to dry up. And I've heard a bunch of other people say the same thing. And then I'm pretty sure you'll fall in love with it. So I'm gonna take my hair down, and then what I did the other day was super fun. I normally, if I were like going out and doing this look, you know, for a bar, restaurant or something like that, I would pair it with just like a little bit of a nude liner and maybe just a clear gloss. But instead, I wanted to make it like really fun. So I'm going in with the In Beauty Lip Glaze in number 3 Frosé, which as you can see is this shimmery, cool toned light pink, which I think just kind of makes it that cotton candy vibe people were describing. So you get this chubby little applicator and you can see like it just makes it a little almost unwearable. Like it's a little, I don't want to say 80s, but it's definitely like a frosty lip. I think this kind of like cool toned frosty pink lip is one of the things I like most about this look. It's just like so not serious, you know? It's like, who cares? I like it. I think it's cool. So I put my hair in a ponytail because that's just what I do on most days. I'm super, super lazy when it comes to hair and style. I just really like makeup. That's it. So, you know, high pony it is. Gives me a little bit of a lift. So this is the look. I personally love it. I think this is super fun. It's a great way to play with color by just doing a one and done kind of shadow thing. And I just think it's like lighthearted and it makes me happy. So on my birthday, I'm gonna wear what makes me happy. And I hope you do too. And as always, I hope that wherever you are, that you are safe and happy and healthy. And thanks for being here. Thanks for watching with me on my birthday. And ow. I'll see you next time.